Thank you. You guys are super nice to have me. I'm excited to talk to you a little bit today. I think I've got the coolest job in the world, right? So I get to go and ask fun questions and then do research on them. And then I get to see athletes. So I've got a practice where I see athletes, and then I get to see coaches, and then I get to diagnose cool brain disorders. So you put all that together, and Park City's like my heaven, right? We got athletes, like high-level athletes. We got concussions everywhere, right? And we got people that are interested in learning more about sports psychology and kind of what we do. So yesterday, I had a really interesting experience. I had 2 sessions yesterday. I had 1 session with a player and 1 session with a coach. And neither of these are BYU athletes. I obviously can't say their names, but I want you to think about what you do in both of these sessions, okay? So session 1, he's a player, and I do a lot with basketball. It's where a lot of my expertise is. And he comes to session and he's like, Dr. Larson, I am so tight right now, right? I'm coming into these tournaments where, if you guys know basketball right now, it's lose or go home, right? Or win or go home. You're done if you lose right now. So he's super tight going in and saying, what do I do to loosen up before the games? How do I get rid of these butterflies? Okay, so that's case number 1. Case number 2, also yesterday, we're on a call with a coach, and the coach comes in and he says, I wake up every morning with a feeling of dread. So we come back to him, I see you right there, you're like, this is real, right? And I say, well, what are you dreading? Like, you've got the coolest job, maybe second to mine, right? But he's a coach it's so cool, it's awesome. And he says, you know what I dread? I dread making a mistake. I dread that I get my team in front of all these people and that I go in and either me or my team makes a mistake. Okay? Is that relatable to anyone? Yeah, to some degree? Okay. You guys are now sports psychologists. Okay? Take a second, the people around you, and tell each other what you're going to say to our athlete who's so tight because he's worried about losing and going home, and to our coach who wakes up every morning with a feeling of dread. Fix them. You got 2 minutes. Go. Okay, I want to hear a couple of your ideas. Is anyone feeling brave? Who's feeling brave? What would you do? How are we going to fix this athlete and this coach? We don't get to charge much as sports psychologists, but you get to charge a little. Feeling brave? Go ahead.
I would tell the coach.
Can you speak into the microphone?
No. Does it work?
Yeah.
I would tell the coach, assume you're going to make a mistake, focus on what you're going to do after that.
Excellent. So what we often say is respond, don't react, right? So if we're saying respond, don't react, we're implying something's going to go bad during the game. Are you prepared for this thing? Or are you just going to be reacting in the moment saying, I don't know? So excellent. Love it. Who else is brave? And we got a microphone floating around, so no one's going to do it.
So with the player, by the way, I can't relate because I never had high expectations of my athletic performance. So I'm just pulling this. I feel like with the player, it's about like channeling nerves into excitement.
Mm-hmm. No, this is excellent.
How to teach them how to do that, but that would be what I would.
Okay. No, can you keep microphone for a second?
Sure.
You cool to talk? So you come in, your arousal, right? You're going in feeling nervous. What nervous system is being used at that moment? Fight or flight, or rest and digest? Fight or flight. What's the same nervous system that's being used when you're excited? Fight or flight, or rest and digest? So what's the difference between those two?
Is it like how you think about the situation?
Yeah, your physiology is identical. What your body's doing is the same thing for excitement as it is for nerves. Who believes that? Okay, coolest study you guys have ever heard of. They put an IV line behind these people so they couldn't tell what was being injected. Then they injected epinephrine, adrenaline, straight into their IV. What did their heart rate do? Whether they're like, whoa, what am I feeling? In one condition, they had a confederate in the room, so a person in the room with them, where they were like, whoa, like it is an awesome day. Today's gonna be great. How do you think the people who got the epinephrine interpreted that little jolt? They were excited, right? The other group, they had a model, they injected the epinephrine and they had the person in there being like, whew, whew, I'm a little nervous, right? I'm feeling bad. How do you think they interpreted the epinephrine injection? Nerves, scared, they wanted to flee. What was the only difference in conditions? How they interpreted it, right? So you're right on the money. One of my slides is it matters how you think about your physiology. We're not trying to take away your nerves. Can we take that away? No. We want to change your relationship with your nerves, right? Nerves are good. Nerves are okay. We want to interpret that as excitement rather than interpreting that as like fear and tightness. You nailed it. What's your name?
Dana.
Dana. Very good, Dana. Okay, anyone else feeling brave? Yeah, you already said what you had, but I think it was good.
I guess for both the coach and the player, I would feel like I'd want to tell them that, hey, you've already done the hard stuff. You prepared for this, and now it's time to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You've done all the hard work, you've done all the study, you've done all the prep, and you should feel confident of where you are at this point.
Yeah, that hard work matters, right? So we have athletes build what we call a confidence resume. What's a resume?
Experience.
Yeah. It's a list of how awesome you are. Yeah? So we have our athletes list out all the things they've done to get to this point in your life. Headband, what's your sport? Oh man, you got fitness, right? You got a lot more fitness than me. What have you done to get fit?
I've gone out and practiced every week.
A lot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Do you feel like you've gotten better?
Yes.
Yeah? What's gotten you better?
Probably my coach and his technique.
Yes. So you've learned over time, right? So when you feel nervous, can you say, hey, I've put in this work, I know how to do this? Yeah? Saying you got some cool swag too, right? So you're ready to go. But this is exactly right. We've put in the work, right? So we can have that confidence resume. I'm going to pick on you because you said a really good thing. Go for it.
I said that for the player, just kind of look at the big perspective. One game isn't going to change your whole life, and you still got your whole life ahead of you. So just, if one game goes bad, then it's fine.
So we teach the athletes to change their timeline. If we're hyper-focused, that's great, Larson, by the way. If we're hyper-focused on 1 minute, a lot of things can go wrong in that 1 minute, right? I was a track athlete in high school. You may not picture that now. But we were at the state championships in the 4x400. Our first leg got sick, right? So he ran his slowest time of the year. I was the third leg where they put the slow guy, right? So I'm giving it everything we got. I come across the finish line. I catch, or not before, I'm coming into the handoff zone. I catch my spike, and what do you think happens? Yeah, I'm going down, and I can see the other guy's hand, and the baton goes, whew. Drop. We were picked to win. We were disqualified. In that moment, I had a choice, right? And of course, in that moment, I was devastated. Our whole team was devastated. But I could look, as a senior too. So I could look at my track career and I could say, well, that sucked, right? If I interpret it based on that one moment, then I'd be pretty devastated, right? That's a really tough way to go. But if I can zoom out and look at the timeline over the course of a career, over the course of the training, then I get a lot out of that. Yeah, absolutely. So the zoom out is a great way to do things. So I think the first thing I want y'all to hear, whether it's the coach or whether it's the player, is we're not trying to take anxiety away. Are you hearing that clearly? Anxiety is good. It means you care, right? One of my favorite basketball athletes is Steph Curry. The man is crazy good, right? This is what Steph says about anxiety. Steph says, I've never been afraid of big moments. I get butterflies. Steph Curry, best three-point shooter ever. Bro still gets butterflies, okay? But he says, I just tell them to fly in formation. Right, so that's the title that's talking. That's what we want you guys to do. Learn to help the butterflies fly in formation. And so 4 things we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about this relationship between your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors. We're going to talk about creating room for some different thoughts and maybe some different ways to approach your thoughts. A few tips for managing that performance, and then the biggest thing is we're going to help you to focus on the things you can actually control. Because in performance, there's a lot. We can't control our competition, we can't control our coaches, we can't control the crazy fans. Dare I say parents, kids? No, we're not going to talk about the parents, right? Well, maybe we're going to talk about parents for a minute, right? But we're going to control the things we can control, okay? So let's start here. When we're looking at our thoughts, it all is happening in the context of a situation, right? We're going into a tournament game. We have a big cross-country skiing event. There's so many different things that happen, but let's say your situation is you're going into an elimination game, okay? So that situation is going to engender a lot of thoughts. You're going to be thinking, hey, I have to X, Y, or Z. There's going to be shoulds and musts in your brain, right? So first thing we want to look at is what you're trying to say. I have to do this. I should be doing this. And we want to eliminate those things, okay? Because we want you focusing on not that it's a huge game and that I have to win or else I'm going home, because how's that interpretation of when you get your adrenaline? Yeah, I'm nervous. Oh, no, right? Instead, we want you to say, this is a great opportunity. I have a chance to go do something that's so cool. How many kids do you know that go cross-country skiing? You guys might know a lot more than I do. That's like half the room. Well, in Spanish Fork, Utah, I know zeros of kids that go cross-country skiing. I mean, it's super, super cool. Right? What a cool opportunity. What a chance I have to go and show the preparation that I've made. Right? You see how that's a flip from, oh no, if I lose, it's over. Right? So you want to be grateful for that opportunity. You want to be excited and focused on that moment because the physiology is the same. Right? It's all about how you're interpreting what's in front of you. Okay? So the quote I like is, it's the way we think about events, not the events themselves, that cause our feelings. So we can be going into a massive game. My son's here, I coach his basketball team. We have a ton of fun. One game, I made the mistake, we were playing the top team in the division. And I made the mistake of telling the guys we were playing the top team in our division. Okay. We rolled into that game. How did we feel that game, Damon? Yeah, they were super tight. I'm like, no, fellas, like even during warm-ups, they were all quiet. And I'm like, guys, it's warm-ups. Like, this is fun. What an opportunity. And I couldn't get them out of it, right? How did that game go? Yeah, we got crushed. Okay. I mean, we couldn't make a basket because our guys were so tight because they were focused on who we were playing rather than focusing on the opportunity that was in front of them. Make sense to everyone? Okay, so it's how we think about events, not the events. So we want to use that lens to push things towards opportunity rather than toward anxiety. Okay? So Trevin Nell, I have his permission to talk about this, as you're going to see in a video. But Trevin Nell's one of the BYU basketball players I've worked with. Now I know up in Park City that you guys tend to like go that other school that's over there, right? But Trev's in like his 200th year at BYU. Right? He started at Cal, he went on a Mormon mission. He's just been here a long time. Literally, he's in his 7th year of college basketball. Okay? But he's such a wonderful guy. And I want to show you a little video that we made about Trevin and how he interprets his thoughts.
My hands would shake before games. My legs were jello. I couldn't eat before practices. I couldn't eat before games. I couldn't sleep before games.
I don't know if anyone realizes how hard it is to be a BYU athlete. I didn't until I married one.
They've got way more public pressure, way more public scrutiny. A lot of people on message boards, internet saying, hey, this guy isn't performing it the way we want because they care about their team.
There's a difference between anxiety and like being nervous. Like a lot of people told me, oh, you're just nervous. Those are just good nerves.
It was that constant pressure of like, am I good enough? Will I perform? Will I be able to make my shots? Especially as a 3-point shooter, you're known like, oh, you can shoot. You're gonna make your shots. So if you're not making your shots, that's a lot of pressure.
So for those that are wondering, wow, why is he just on the show and on the sidelines but not on the floor right now? What happened to you and when?
So I tore my rotator cuff tendon. It came down to it, I just needed surgery, so. I was in a really dark place and my anxiety was going through the roof. I would even question, God, like, why is this happening to me? I'd almost reevaluate. Is this worth it? Is my dream done at this point?
Can I perform at the level I was before? Am I going to be able to make it back? Or what other guys might have gotten ahead of me in the game? Or can I even just play at the level I was?
The emotion kind of took over and I just was crying pretty hard because of this life moment, this life accomplishment that I was trying to, have.
At that point, you have to make a decision. How are you going to proceed? Are you going to go hide in your room? Or are you going to go get involved in something else? Or are you going to come suffer through every day with the team? You're force-fed the fact that you're missing, that you have to miss the whole year.
He's like, you have two options. You can either see how you can make this better and see the positive, or you can be in this dark place. And he's like, the team needs you. Like, I want you to be a part of the team. I want you to be around as much as possible.
Trevin put everybody else ahead of him.
And I found myself, instead of stepping back, to really put both feet into the team.
He took on a bunch of really important roles. One of the things that we jumped into right away was we had a new NOAA system that we were still trying to learn. Trevin was like, hey, let me be in charge of this. I think at some point we even got him a lab coat so he could really be the shot doctor.
One thing that was really good is you were good at like getting into my mechanics a little bit. You'd just be like, bro, like jump, like use your legs or like switch your feet or like something like that. Like just something very small, like you're very attention to detail.
Talking to Mike, who always says like, focus on one thing.
Yeah.
So I think that translates right to shooting. And so for you is like, just jump, just a little bit more. And I really try to help guys shooting wise and trying to teach them the scientific way to shoot a basketball, as well as trying to see how I could perform my shot better. So it was a unique way to help the team as well as figure out a way how I can come back better than I was.
As Trev and I started working together, we started working on his shoulder injury, and the more we talked, the more we realized there was a lot more going on that we could help with.
It got to the point where like I was saying, I don't even like basketball. Basketball is something that's scary.
What if this goes wrong? Or what if I miss these shots? We want to flip that to what if everything goes right?
The anxiety was there, and the surgery was a blessing in terms of I had a whole year and a half of working with a sports psychologist to try to manage my anxiety.
Right? What if those shots go in? What if I take this risk and things go well? So we've been using that all year, and that's brought a lot more joy to the basketball court.
It's been a huge blessing, and it's been a huge confident booster that A, I know I'm not alone. B, I know that I can do hard things and be able to lean on other people and be vulnerable in different situations.
So, what did you guys learn from Trev? Is it normal for even big-time athletes to have some anxiety? Yeah, super normal, right? Is it okay? Yeah. What did he do to work with that anxiety?
All in.
Yeah, he was all in. Say more.
Just went all in. Don't back.
Yeah. Instead of letting the anxiety control him, he took control, right? He chose something. And he said, I'm gonna make an impact. I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna work on it. Now this guy is so confident, like they've got a game tomorrow and he's walking into this game right here, right? And he may or may not shoot well, it may or may not be a great game, but as far as how he approaches the game, he's all in. And he's learned how to reframe that mindset. Does that make sense to everyone? So that's the first thing. Your thoughts are what's going to control a lot of those feelings and the behaviors. We want to come at it from a confident position. Instead of focusing on what we don't want to happen, what if I miss? Okay? What's the action word? What if I miss? The action word there is miss, right? What if I fall? What if do we got ski jumpers in here? What kind of cool sports do we have in here?
Yeah, he's a ski jumper, but he just stepped out.
Oh, bummer. Okay. We got downhill skiers. Mountain bikers, okay? What's one of your fears in mountain biking? I'm putting you on the spot.
Losing.
Yeah. What if I lose, right? Like the coach that wakes up every morning feeling dread. So instead of focusing on what you don't want, focus on what you do want, right? I want the ball. I want this shot. I want to win. Are we going to win every time? No, some athletes think it's not okay to talk about winning. Is it okay to talk about winning? Yes. Absolutely, right? It's okay to talk about winning, and we don't want winning to be everything, right? But we want to focus on what we do want, because performance anxiety is where we have this negative evaluation in response to some sort of stressor, right? If it's fear-based, we're anticipating something going wrong. But just like I taught Trevin, we want to focus on what if things go right. Is it going to go right every time? No, but what an opportunity you have to try. Right? What an opportunity you have to say, I have these pregame jitters, I have these butterflies, just like Steph Curry. And what am I going to tell him? Fly in formation. Like, let's go. Let's do this. It's excitement. Right? Those racing hard, those butterflies, it shows you care. It shows you care and you want to win, and that's cool. That's okay. So you're excited, I'm ready, I can compete, and that's that mindset that matters. So remind yourself, it's my body getting ready to perform, right? When I work with football players, that's tough, right? They're gonna go get a beating. So I have to say, okay, your body's getting adrenaline ready to go get nailed over and over again. It sounds like a great thing to do, right? Concussion doctor, keeping me in business. Okay? Or use power phrases. I'm excited. This is something I want. This is something I love. Okay? And move on from that one. And then we can create room for different thoughts. So I mentioned this earlier, but your brain doesn't hear the word don't. Your brain hears the action word. Okay? So just like when I'm sprinting down there about ready to pass the baton, I'm saying, don't trip. What did my brain hear? Trip. What did I do? Trip. Right? So if you're a coach, if you're a parent, let's avoid telling your kid, don't be tight. What's the action word? Tight. Right? Instead, how can we rephrase that? Yeah, be loose. Don't be bad. I like it. Don't be bad, okay? So instead we want to focus on the action word, right? That same athlete I was talking about who is feeling tight because of the pressure of shooting, his word is balance. So whenever he's feeling tight, whenever he's at the three-point line, he says balance. He's focusing on one simple thing to do, not to don't. Parents, y'all hear that? I can't tell you how many times, Damon, sorry I'm going to pick on you a few times. I still do it. I'm a sports psychologist, right? In practice, do I tell you guys what to don't sometimes? Yeah. But do I tell you what to do more? Yeah. Right? It's all about balance at the end of the day. So talk about what to do. Create those mental images where you're visualizing what you want. Okay? Where you're going with it. Thought blocking goes the other way. Right? We often say, get rid of that anxiety, get those nerves away. No, we're good with the nerves. We're just changing our relationship to them. Because if we're saying stop it, what's the action? Stop being nervous, right? We're stopping, we're not engaging, we're not approaching. We want to approach, we want to engage with confidence. Okay, the other thing you can do is just observe your feelings. So with the coach who wakes up each morning with dread, we asked him, when did that start? Okay, when did you start waking up in the morning with dread? When do you guys think it started for this coach? Do you think it started when he was coaching? Do you think it started when he was an athlete himself? Do you think it started younger than that? Yeah, this individual has a lot of perfectionistic traits. It's not always about coaching. Sometimes it's waking up dreading, I have to go to school. Sometimes waking up dreading, I have to do these different things. It's before sports. So instead of telling him, hey, stop dreading, is that going to work? Nope. We just want to change his relationship to it. So the first part of our intervention was just observe the thoughts, right? Be present with them instead of fighting against them. So observe, be present. Stop fighting to control. We often say treat them like a cloud that's going by. Your emotions, they're just something that's moving with you. They are not controlling you. But you can observe them and see where they're heading. Okay? Kobe Bryant is one of the best at this. Kobe said, it's okay to fail because you're going to be loved no matter what. This stemmed from when he was 11 years old. Kobe Bryant, one of the best, was in a summer league as a youth, and he didn't score a single point. Kobe's dad was a professional basketball player. How do you think his dad felt about him not scoring a single point all summer long? You think he was like, awesome, son? Let's go. No? How do you think he felt?
A little disappointed. Hopefully he didn't say anything.
What Kobe says his dad said, he says, my dad pulled me aside one day and he said, Kobe, I do not care. I love you no matter what. And I don't care about basketball. Kobe said it unlocked it. Because he knew that he was going to be loved no matter what. And because he knew he was going to be loved no matter how he played basketball, he was willing to take a risk. He was willing to try something new. Parents, this is the only slide for which you were invited. No, I'm dead serious. This is why we wanted you in this room. Because you love your kids no matter what. And it doesn't matter. And it's hard for them to know that because you're putting time and you're putting effort and you're putting resources into this performance, right? Like I hear more accents from different countries in this room than I normally hear because you are here to train with the best. There's a lot there, and so you want your kids to succeed, but guess what? You love your kid no matter what. And that means more than their performance on a resort, ski tote, whatever it may be. But the big thing I just want to emphasize there is that he felt so much love and so much support that he could take a risk, right? He could make that mistake. He was okay, but then what did he do with the emotions? Was he dwelling on the fear? What was he saying? He just let it go by. Yeah, it comes and it goes. And I observe it and I notice it and I'm not trying to stop it because what does that do? This is going to be a graphic for a second here, but does anyone feel like when they're going to throw up, they say, don't throw up, don't throw up, don't throw up? What do? You're going to throw up, right? Because that's all you're thinking about. It's kind of the same way with emotion, right? Stop it. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. You're just heightening that anxiety. Change that action. Okay. So next thing, just a couple quick tips. I've given you quite a few, but remember that your thoughts can be helpful or they can be unhelpful. So if you find yourself in a thought spiral, just ask yourself, is that thought helpful? If it's helpful, great, keep thinking it. If it's not helpful, what do? Find another thought that's more helpful, right? My hourly fee is really high. No, I'm just teasing. But you get the idea? Like it's simple but hard all at the same time. Because it's hard to change, but failures are just an opportunity to learn. I am a terrible golfer. I just spent 2 days in St. George being a terrible golfer. Okay? I had a time in my life. The weather was warm. I was with a friend. It didn't matter. It wasn't a judgment of my work. Did my buddy still like me on the drive home even though he shot better than me? Yeah, we were still friends on the way home, right? Could I have been super angry? I could have been, but guess what? I was having fun golfing. It was great, right? So if you separate yourself from your performance, that failure doesn't define you. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to lose. Kobe Bryant has missed more game-winning shots than anyone in the NBA. Would you say Kobe's successful? Yeah. Michael Jordan, same thing. It's actually Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and I think it was like Tim Duncan or someone semi-random that have missed the most game-winning shots. People you think are the best. But they've also missed the most. And so focus on that process, what you've done, right? This has made me stronger. not this is the end of the world. Widen out that lens that you're looking at things through. You're learning valuable things. And this doesn't mean that we're always like looking at things through rose-colored glasses. We have to still prepare, right? We have to put in the work in order to get where we want to go. So we're not saying everything's roses. Sometimes you have to take hard feedback. And that helps you get better. We like to use the word "and" with our athletes a lot, right? Hard feedback's tough, and it's making me better, and I'm going to be okay, and tomorrow I'm going to get back out here and work. When we start using the word "but," where does things go? But it's discounting, right? So we use the word "and." Right? We use the word "and" a lot. And then expect good things. When I got out on the golf course, we played two rounds. We played one in the morning and one in the afternoon. In the afternoon round, the first day I got out there and I'm like, oh, I'm tired. It's going to be tough. Guess what? I was tired and it was tough, right? I hit that ball all over the course. But the next morning, I'm like, hey, I'm a little sore from the day before, and I think I'm going to play pretty well today. Guess what happened? I played pretty well. Now, it's not always that black and white, but you can help control, right? You can help move it in that direction. So that's the last point I want to make, is that we're trying to control the controllable. Sometimes in life, there are things that are out of our control. We have too little control, and so we completely avoid, we back away. Someone over here said, what should you tell the coach? I think it was you. And they said, quit. Yeah, find another sport. Is that the answer? No, avoidance is not the answer, right? Avoidance will increase anxiety in the future. You know when you reward a puppy and it keeps doing the thing it likes? Same thing, if you take away something negative from a human, they will keep doing the thing that takes away the negative. So think about obsessive compulsive disorder, the one where you wash your hands a lot. You guys all know what I'm talking about? That's not the only symptom, but it's a symptom. The purpose of the hand washing is to remove the anxiety associated with fear of germs. So when they wash their hands, they feel better. So what do they want to do next time they feel like they're contaminated? Wash their hands. Same things happens with athletes, right? When we avoid, when we try and do that, we're taking the control away. Control the part we can control. Do your part, right? Rather than trying to remove yourself from the situation or remove the uncomfortable thing. You got to be uncomfortable to be a good athlete. That's okay. Then control your response to that discomfort. Yes? I like you too. You're nodding your heads a lot, so I look at you a lot. It's good. Every presenter needs a head nodder. But then sometimes we try and do too much. And we try and say, hey, I have this situation, I have this playoff game coming up, or I have this race coming up, and I'm nervous about it. So I'm going to stay up all night the night before, and I'm going to look over all my notes and all my game plan. And I'm going to be super, super prepared. And I'm over-controlling the situation, and I don't sleep very well, and what happens to my performance the next morning? I'm cooked, right? There's actually literature, just in school, right? Many of y'all are in school, but the athletes who go to bed on time will perform better on their academic exams than the ones who stay up cramming for the exam. Why? Because they're tired, right? It's simple. But at the same time, it's because they have controlled what they can control and they didn't try and over-pursue and over-control it. They didn't overload and then do worse. So we still say, they're like, when I'm not fully prepared, you're like, give it your all and then go to bed at your normal bedtime. You'll do better rested than you will staying up 3 or 4 extra hours trying to cram stuff in. Okay. So I put a few situations that I'm going to skip through them really quick, but we want to be effective, right? Do something practical like Trevin in that video I showed. Approach. Try and do something that will help you rather than stepping back and avoiding. And then there are some times where we just have to accept, right? Coaches-player relationships is a place where we often accept. You can't control playing time. The coach controls playing time. You can control your effort, you can control what you give, but a lot of times the coach is going to say, this person's better than you. Right? That sucks. It's hard. And can we keep rocking and rolling? Yeah, that's a situation we can't control, so we go back and control what we can control. Tony Romo, this is old school. This one's for the parents. Who likes football? Tony Romo, Dallas Cowboys quarterback, right? He was on the scout team for 3 years. Coach gave him his shot. Why? Because he kept showing up every day. Got his shot in a preseason game. Did really well, was super prepared, right? But he'd accepted that he couldn't control anything. He stuck around, and then he became an all-pro quarterback. Pretty awesome stuff. Pretty awesome stuff. So, last thing is just staying in the moment, right? Sometimes we just have to be present and accept what's happening around us, not trying to control everything, trying to fix it, right? BYU was losing to Texas Tech really bad last year, and I was the psychologist at that game. So we were ahead by a bunch of the first half. We went into halftime all juice, and then in the second half, they came back and ended up beating us by 20. Like, they roared back. It was painful. But while we were still ahead and before we'd gotten behind, one of my other psychologist buddies texted me, Mike, fix it! With a whole bunch of exclamation points after it. Could I fix it at that moment? No. And it's still one of our jokes. Like, when BYU gets behind in a game, we'll just text each other. We'll just be like, fix it! Right? But sometimes you can't change the past, and you just control that thing you can control in that moment. Right? Because it's not always. So in short, let's come back to this quote. Are butterflies okay? Yep. We're just going to tell them to fly in formation. And how we're going to do that is remember that our thoughts influence our behaviors, right? Reframe these things as an opportunity, a chance. We're approaching with confidence and excitement, right? Create room for different thoughts. Remember, the people that are in your circle will love you no matter how you perform, right? So observe those thoughts. Feel them. It's okay. We're not trying to push them away, right? That's all good. But observe them, and then remember, we're talking about what we're going to do, not what we're going to don't, right? Then challenge, reframe. Remember, your worth is not your athlete. Like, you are what's worthwhile, not your sport. And then last thing is control the controllable. You guys will rock it. So I just gave you like a year's worth of sports psychology in 35 minutes. You got it all? Nailed it? Okay. Well, it's been super fun talking to you guys for a little bit. I know we're going to ask questions in a second, but if you or your athletes are interested in getting some sports psychology services, I work at BYU and we have a little team that sees athletes, and we can do it over Zoom. So if you're interested, you can take a picture of that and reach out, and we're happy to get you or your athletes some services. Try and help out as you work on your performance. So thank you all very much.